I remember the summer of 2007 when I went to Penny Arcade Expo in Seattle for the very first time, and I got to play Uncharted before it came out for the PlayStation 3 a few months down the road. And I remember loving it. I remember getting excited for it. And I remember getting Uncharted 2 when I got my PS3 and going through 1 and going through 2 a couple years later and really just loving the experiences. In fact, the Uncharted franchise is quite frankly one of my all-time favorites because of how Nolan North portrays Nathan Drake and also the relationship that he has with his mentor Sully. And I feel like that's always been a solid father-son dynamic that has been fun to watch play out over the span of these few games. And I've always wanted to see that portrayed in a movie. I've always wanted to see that portrayed in a movie. And they've been talking about it for so long that it's gone through so many different directors and so many different actors that we find ourselves today looking at a situation that is utterly perplexing and speaks to exactly where Mark Wahlberg is as a star in Hollywood, where his fame meter currently is. So this is a true headline from Kotaku. The Uncharted movie has been in development so long that Mark Wahlberg, once cast as Nathan Drake, is now playing Sully instead. That's true. That is absolutely true. I was going to do a full-on video about this, but there's not enough information there to like really dive into the history of the movie, I think. Unless you guys want me to do something like that, and then I totally will. But this is a situation that I cannot help but really laugh at because predominantly here, what we're seeing is a situation where Mark Wahlberg as a celebrity is not as popular as he once was back in 2010, 2011, when they had originally cast him as Nathan Drake, or he was rumored to be cast as Nathan Drake. All the fans wanted Nathan Fillion, which is why a year ago when that Nathan Fillion Uncharted short film dropped, everyone lost their mind because it was good and they wanted more of that. And unfortunately, Sony doesn't ever really give fans what they want outside of maybe the video game department because their movie department sucks. So we find ourselves in this current situation. So anyway, Sony's been trying to get the Uncharted movie made now for over a decade. And while the latest attempt to get Nathan Drake's story on the big screen starring Spider-Man's Tom Holland sounds like it might actually get made, the addition of Mark Wahlberg to the cast this week is just a reminder of how deep in development hell this project has been. You may not remember this, but this isn't the first time Mark Wahlberg has been attached to the movie. In 2010, he signed on to star as Nathan Drake, with De Niro to play his father and Joe Pesci to play his uncle. A year later, both he and director David O. Russell were gone. Now, as Variety reports, he's back as part of Travis Knight's vision, but rather than playing Drake, he's co-starring as Sully. And look, it makes sense given that Tom Holland is a younger guy, early 20s, playing a younger Nathan Drake, like we saw at the beginning of Uncharted 3, or perhaps even like a few years down the road than a couple of the segments in Uncharted 4. Like that part I get. I completely understand. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to build up Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, probably because they loved him as Spider-Man and they say, hey, look, this is done really well. Is there anything you'd want to do? And he's like, Uncharted. But to go with Travis Knight as a director over David Trachtenberg is something that I'm still not fully on board with yet. But I do want to see how it all plays out. But you cannot help but feel bad for Mark Wahlberg in this particular situation. Like, he was never a fan favorite pick for Nathan Drake. I mean, people went to David O. Russell back in 2010 and were like, what about Nathan Fillion? You know, they were demanding Nathan Fillion play him, and they wanted Bruce Campbell to play Sully. Bruce Campbell playing Sully would be, I think, the better choice. Now, granted, the age difference between Tom Holland and Bruce Campbell in regards to that particular dynamic from the game would be a little bit on the not fully right side. And Mark Wahlberg is more age appropriate for what they're attempting to do, especially if they want to make this a trilogy or make this an ongoing series. He has the time to grow into the role, age-wise at least. But how bad is that? That Mark Wahlberg, Mark effing Wahlberg, going from being Nathan Drake to being Sully. And for one, he doesn't even look like Sully. Are they going to give him gray hair, a big bushy mustache, and chomping on a cigar while making quips? Or is he going to walk up to go like, hey, what's going on, Drake? Say hi to your mother for me, okay? Like, what's he going to do? What's he gonna do? I mean, Sully's a playboy. He's a charismatic playboy. Mark Wahlberg can't play a charismatic playboy. He can't do that kind of charisma. At least I don't think. I could be wrong. But at the same time, what does this say about Mark Wahlberg in his career? You know, when's the last time Mark Wahlberg starred in a movie? Daddy's Home 2? You know, he used to be in 1-2 movies a year for a long time. And then they just started dropping off and dropping off and dropping off. So now he's I think he's coming into this thing for a paycheck and the potentiality of name recognition to get people to go see the movie. But those of us who are long time Uncharted fans, we're going to remember the 2010 David O. Russell hiring as a director and then wanting to go to Mark Wahlberg and everyone saying, hold on. No. It should be it should be Nathan Fillion, sir. As we saw last year, Fillion did the work, and it was a fun short film, and that's what fans really wanted. But of course, like I said, Sony is going to Sony. Sony is going to Sony. Why not just cast Nathan Fillion as Sully? That would be more accurate at this point anyway, right? That would be a better choice. If he can't play Nathan Drake, he could play a Sully, and he could do the charismatic, sarcastic stuff just as good as I think in both roles. I don't know what they're planning here. All I know is it is starting to shape up like a dumpster fire, and that's the last thing I want. But hey, I'll be optimistic once this thing starts actually rolling, if it ever does. And if you do want me to do a WTF happen with the Uncharted movie video, let me know in the comments and I'll start working on it. Because if you guys want it, I'll definitely make it. All right, guys, your thoughts, your opinions. If you made it this far, type Uncharted into the chat. That way I know you made it and I know that you love me and I love you for loving me. So that's the thumbs up right there. Also, thumbs up the video, punch it, that notification bell. Make sure you get subscribed, all that ending video crap. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day and peace out. This video is supported by patrons like you. If you'd like to become a patron, please head over to patreon.com/Matt Jarbo.